You can hear me in the jail?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna start with, the Margochi Cadet, State of Michigan versus Margochi Cadet. Counsel, can I have your appearance, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Harrison with the Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of my client, Mr. Cadet, who appears from the jail and approaching the podium now.
Okay, Mr. Margochi Cadet, is that correct?
Marduche, yeah.
Marduche Cadet, thank you. Okay, today's the date scheduled for an arraignment. I do have here a felony complaint. The allegations are that on or about March 22nd, 2026, in the area at or near West Willow Street in North Chestnut in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, that you allegedly committed the act in count 1 of carrying a concealed weapon, and that you did carry a pistol, whether concealed or otherwise, in a vehicle operated or occupied by said defendant, that vehicle being an Impala, and that this was contrary to Michigan Compile Law, excuse me, 750.227. That's a felony with a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and or $2,500 in fines and the mandatory forfeiture of the weapon or device under the law. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Okay, you have the right to an attorney. Mr. Harrison is going to represent you today to be arraigned, but you do have the right to have an attorney at all of your court appearances, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're going to be questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the Office of the Public Defender appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. You understand your right to counsel?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Okay, what, do you have any questions about that at this time?
No.
Okay, so you also have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say, anything that you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you elect to stand mute, the matter will go through all the stages until you complete a jury trial. You have the right in this matter to have a preliminary examination because you're being charged with a felony. You have the right to have that examination within 21 days of today's date unless you waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21-day timeline and reset it. At the time of your examination, you have the right to require that the prosecution establish that they have sufficient probable cause that the felony that you're being charged with was committed, and then probable cause sufficient to charge you as the person who committed that felony. You are currently scheduled for probable cause conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be on April 2nd at 10:30 in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before me in person at the court, April 9th at 9:30. Did you receive a notice to appear?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Thank you. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You are innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to maintain that presumption of innocence and proceed all the way to trial. Require the prosecutor prove your guilt by proving each element of each of the charges being brought against you. You have the right to remain silent at any trial, and they can't use that silence against you. You have the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf. The right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you. And you also can waive your silence and testify at your own trial. You understand those rights?
Yes, I do.
You have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody. We'll address your bond in just a moment. Is he requesting the public defender to represent him, counsel?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
Okay, the court's going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf as well. And note that you are requesting a public defender. Are you employed, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's that?
Where do I work?
Yes.
I work on the west side of town, Avant says.
You work where?
On the west side of Lansing. It's called Avant says.
Okay, what is that?
It's a factory.
Okay. What's your home address?
3016 North Waverly Road.
And your phone number.
517-862-7194.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am.
You have any other criminal matters that are pending?
Not that I know of. No.
I would hope you would know if you had some criminal matters pending, but it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure that I don't have any warrants on me, so.
I don't see anything pending on your history. Let's see, counsel, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. After having a conversation with Mr. Cadet, I'd ask Your Honor to consider potentially a PR or bond on this file. I'm going to highlight some things for you here. What I'm told is that my client has a very limited criminal record. He's accused, everybody tells me of, is he was convicted or accused of a trespassing in the past. However, he has no assaultive criminal history that we're aware of. And I would ask Your Honor to take that into consideration on setting a bond. He is fully employed. In fact, he works as avances, is what he says, over in South Canal Road in Lansing. So he does have full-time employment. I'd ask Your Honor to allow him to release on a PR bond, understanding that while this is a serious charge, there isn't an assaultive allegation here. It is simply a possession of a gun allegedly in a car. So with that said, I would just ask for Your Honor to consider a PR bond with whatever appropriate conditions that Your Honor feels otherwise. Thank you.
Bond is set in the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance. While out on bond, you do have the following conditions. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or other dangerous weapon. You're not to travel outside the state unless you get permission in advance from the court. You're not to use drugs or alcohol without a prescription. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release, okay?
Yes.
Lastly, you must appear for all of your future court dates, and you've already received those next dates. Do you have any questions at this time?
So I'm not getting a PR bond. My bond is set for how much you say?
She said $1,000 PR.
You are getting a PR bond. 1,000 PR.
All right. But that means I have to pay 10% still, right?
No, it's personal
No.
recognizance. You don't have to pay anything.
Okay. I just had to make sure. Sorry.
No problem. Any other questions?
That's it.
Okay, you're all set for today.
Thank you.
State of Michigan versus Nathan Lee House. Counsel appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Harrison with the Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of my client, Mr. House, who appears via the jail and approaching the podium now.
You're Mr. Nathan Lee House?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. House, I have a felony complaint that you need to be arraigned on. The allegations are that on or about March 22nd, 2026, that you allegedly in count 1 committed the offense of police officer assaulting, resisting, or obstructing, and that on or about the date in question at the area of 3001 South Washington Ave in Lansing, Michigan, you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Dylan Platt, a police officer of the Lansing Police Department that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing his duties, and that this was contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.81D1. That's a felony. The maximum penalty is 2 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Harrison is representing you only today for the purpose of your arraignment. But you do have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you at all of your court dates, and the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. You understand that?
Yes.
If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request for the public defender's office to represent you at the expense of the public. You have the right in this matter to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will go through each stage until you complete a jury trial. You have the right to a preliminary examination because you are being charged with a felony. You have the right to have the preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date. At the time of the preliminary examination, you have the right to require the prosecutor establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a felony was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you as the individual who committed the felony. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be on April 2nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before me. It's going to be on April 9th at 9 a.m. You must appear in person. Did you receive a copy of your notice to appear?
Yes, I did.
Is he requesting the public defender to represent him, counsel?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
And I'm gonna enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. Okay, again, you have the right to a jury trial. You're presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter, again, will go all the way to trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to have the prosecutor prove each element of each of the charges, well, of the charge, because you're only being charged with one, beyond a reasonable doubt. At the time of trial, you have the right to question in person or cross-examine any witness called to testify against you, the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, and the right to waive your silence and take the stand on your own behalf. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No.
Okay, are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
I don't see any other matters pending on his behalf. Are you employed?
Yes. Home health. I'm a home health care provider.
What's your home address?
3001 South Washington Avenue, Lansing, 48910.
What's your phone number?
1-517-528-6987.
Counsel, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. First and foremost, when I was reviewing the details that the jail sends me for the arraignments, it does mention that he does have a hold for another agency. I advised my client of that. We're not entirely sure what exactly that hold is for. However, Your Honor, upon having a conversation with my client, he says that he would ask Your Honor to consider for a PR bond anyways. I've advised him knowing that if he's held for whatever that is, that he wouldn't get day-for-day credit on this file. He says he wants to take that risk. He believes that whatever it is, he can resolve it without being held for any length of time. So with that said, Your Honor, I would ask Your Honor to consider a PR bond on this file. My client tells me that he's never had any violent offenses in his past, and it's been some years before he's been in trouble. Understanding that this is a new allegation, but he does have the presumption of innocence towards it, and he is fully employed. So I'd ask Your Honor to consider a PR bond with whatever appropriate conditions Your Honor feels necessary. Thank you.
I don't see the affidavit in this file. Does he have a hold? I'm asking the jail.
Sorry. What was the question?
Does he have a hold?
He has 3 warrants out of Eaton Rapids. So yes.
Oh. Okay, so he's gonna go to Eaton Rapids. I am not going to grant your PR bond. A bond will be set in the amount of 1,010%. Once that matter or those matters are resolved, because I am the judge of record on this, I will as long as I'm notified, I'll convert it back to personal recognizance. That way you can address your issues and accrue time on this while you're addressing your issue, okay?
Okay,
So I'm gonna set it at 1,010%. Again, your bond can convert to a personal recognizance once you've cleared those holds. All right, you need to make sure you appear for your court dates. Do you understand that?
yes,
While on bond, you're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to use alcohol or drugs without a prescription. You're not to travel outside the state without permission of the court. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. Do you have any questions at this time?
no,
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing on this file. We just thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
actually, I have a question. Oh, never mind, I don't.
Yes, yes, what's the question?
I was just gonna ask, if the agency, if Lee County doesn't want to come pick me up or something like that, could I get do I have a PR bond then?
If you gotta get those holds cleared. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
know
have
that.
warrants.
Yes, yes,
It's not likely that they're not going to come and pick you up, but I don't know about all of that. Your bond is 1,010% until you get those other matters cleared,
okay,
okay?
okay.
You're all set. This is State of Michigan versus Bianca Hurd, counsel appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Harrison with the Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of my client, Ms. Hurd, who appears via Zoom from the Ingham County or from the jail and appearing at the podium now.
Okay, yeah, Ms. Hurd, I have a misdemeanor complaint here where the allegations allege that on or about March 22nd, 2026 at North Chestnut Street and West Cesar Chavez Ave in Lansing, Michigan, that you allegedly committed the act in count 1 of operating while intoxicated or impaired, second offense notice, and that you did allegedly operate a vehicle upon a place open to the general public or generally accessible to motor vehicles, that being Chestnut at or near West Cesar Chavez, while having an alcohol content of 0.08 grams or more per 210 liters of breath, and that this was in violation of Michigan Compiled Law 257.6251. There's a second offense notice. It says take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of operating while impaired on or about September 3rd, 2024 in the 54A District Court. Therefore, upon conviction, the defendant will be subject to an enhanced sentence under MCL 257.6259 or MCL 257.62511 and vehicle forfeiture under MCL 257.625N. Your penalty in the misdemeanor second offense is $200 to $1,000 in fines and 5 days up to 1 year in jail or 30 to 90 days community service or both. Rehabilitative programs can also be ordered as part of your sentencing, and you may be ordered to repay the cost of prosecution, reimburse government for emergency response and expenses for prosecuting, and your vehicle can be immobilized according to the law, unless the vehicle is ordered forfeited under the law. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Harrison is representing you to be arraigned. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at all of your court appearances, and if questioned by law enforcement, if you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can request the public defender's office to represent you at no expense to you. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will go all the way to jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to maintain your innocence and require the prosecution prove your guilt at jury trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt at the time of trial. You have the right to question or cross-examine any witness called to testify against you. The right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge, and the right to waive your silence and take the stand on your own behalf. You understand your rights as it relates to your trial? Do you understand your rights, ma'am?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Requesting the public defender's office to represent her.
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
The court's going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Are you currently employed?
Yeah, I work at the post office.
What's your home address?
645 West Willow, apartment 110.
What's your phone number?
517-885-0826.
Are you on probation or on parole?
I'm not. No, ma'am.
Do you have any other criminal matters pending?
No, ma'am.
You can address bond counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. After having a conversation with Ms. Hurd, I'd ask Your Honor to consider potentially a PR bond on this file with whatever appropriate conditions that Your Honor feels necessary. What I want to highlight to Your Honor is that obviously my client is fully employed. She works at the Postal Service. And on top of that, Your Honor, she's been living her whole life here in the Lansing area. I don't believe she poses a flight risk. Her children are here in the Lansing Community Schools. So I don't believe she's going to go anywhere. She's absolutely going to address these issues. So I'd ask Your Honor for a PR bond. And if Your Honor feels so inclined as the facilitated PR bond, if Your Honor believes a tether necessary, we would accept that. Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't see anything else on her criminal history other than the previous conviction for impaired. A bond is set in the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance. I will order a scram tether as requested by the people in their bond recommendation. While out on bond, you have the following conditions in addition to affixing a scram tether prior to your release from custody. You are not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use alcohol or drugs unless you have a valid prescription. And you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. And you're going to need to report to all of your court dates. One will be mailed to you after this file is entered, okay?
Yeah, what kind of tether is that? I mean, I've never been in trouble for real, so I don't even know what that means when you're saying tether.
Scram tether, it's a tether that will test your blood alcohol level every hour.
Oh, so I'm just going on like an alcohol tether?
Yep, you're getting an alcohol tether.
Do you know how long, or is that until the court's over?
But for the
I'm not
pendency of,
afraid about it, but I just.
no worries, it's for the pendency of this matter until or unless the judge of record removes it.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
You're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you gonna cover about me?
State of Michigan versus Darrell White, 25-02799. Appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Harrison with the Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of my client, Mr. White, who appears via the jail and approaching the podium now.
You, Darrell White.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. White, I do have a misdemeanor complaint here that charges you with domestic violence. The allegations are that on or about August 3rd, 2025, at 2923 South Catherine Street in Lansing, Michigan, that you allegedly made an assault or assault and battery upon a Natasha Turner, a resident or former resident of your household, or an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was in violation of Michigan compiled law 750.812. It's a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Harrison is representing you today so that you can be arraigned. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at all of your court appearances and if questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at no expense to you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have the right in this matter to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You can maintain your innocence and take this matter to jury trial and require the prosecutor prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. At the time of trial, you would have the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you, the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you, and the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. You understand those rights?
Yes.
You're currently scheduled for a pre-trial before me. It's going to be on April 7th at 8:30. Did you receive a notice to appear?
Yes.
Is he requesting the prosecutor to represent him?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
The court's going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. This is yours. This cannot be yours. don't know why this is in your file. This is definitely not yours. Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
Do you have any other criminal matters pending?
No.
Are you employed?
Yes.
Where?
General Motors.
What's your home address?
2923 South Catherine Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48911.
Mr. White,
Yeah,
you're
we're-
gonna want to give the alternate address of it we talked about in Albion.
Oh, yeah, 806 North Clinton Street, Albion, Michigan.
Okay, so I was about to ask a question. I'm assuming that this is the address that Natasha Turner lives. This is the Catherine Street address.
Yes,
Okay, where are you gonna reside in Albion?
806 North Clinton Street.
You said Clinton Street?
Yes,
And your phone number?
517-894-9241.
Okay, bond is set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance with a no contact order in place for the protection of the alleged victim. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly. That includes through third party with a Natasha Turner. You understand that?
Yes,
You're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever she lives, works, goes to school, or handles any of her business. You understand that?
yes,
Okay, you're not to use drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind, and you must make sure you appear for all of your court dates. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
no, I don't.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Just one question, Your Honor. Would Your Honor consider a one-time visit with law enforcement to allow him to collect personal effects that may be at the Catherine address while he's waiting pendency of this case in Albion?
To the extent that he can get law enforcement to accompany him for such purpose, absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. On the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Jaden Idris Dodge. Yes, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Garrett, Michigan County Public Defender's Office, here on behalf of my client, Mr. Dodge, who appears via the jail and is at the podium.
Okay, Mr. Dodge, I have a felony complaint here. The allegations are that on or about March 21st, 2026, at the area of 1430 Weymouth Court, which is in Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that you did allegedly assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Tristan Brown, a police officer of the Lansing Police Department. The defendant knew or had reason to know was performing his or her duties, and that this was in violation of Michigan compiled law 750.81 D6, D1, that is. This is a felony. Maximum penalty is 2 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement or under MCL 750.81 D6 for another of violation arising out of the same transaction. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, let's see, what am I doing? So you have the right in this matter to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Harrison's representing you for the purposes of your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you at all of your future court dates, and if questioned by law enforcement, and if you can't afford to hire an attorney, the public defender's office can be appointed at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yes.
You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right in this file to have a preliminary examination because you are being charged with a felony. You have the right to have that exam within 21 days of today's date, unless the court finds good cause to waive that 21-day timeline, or unless you waive the timeline. At the time of your preliminary examination, you have the right to require the prosecutor establish that they have sufficient probable cause that the felony that you've alleged to have was actually committed, and sufficient probable cause to charge you as the person who allegedly committed that felony. Do you understand those rights so far?
Yes.
You have the right to have a jury trial in this matter, and the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. And if this matter continues to a jury trial, you have the right to require the prosecutor to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Your right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you. Your right to remain silent, not have it be used against you, and your right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf. Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
No.
You're currently scheduled for a probable cause conference before me. It's going to be on April 2nd at 10 a.m. And then you have a preliminary examination before me on April 9th at 9 a.m. in person at the court. Did you receive a notice to appear?
Yes.
Is he requesting the public defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Where?
Resource MFG, it's a temp agency.
What's your home address?
1429 Weymouth Court.
Now, is this the, let's see, that's address of the alleged incident. Okay. What is your phone number?
517-619-4495.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
Do you have any other criminal matters pending?
Yes.
Do You have a history of failure to appear in court, correct?
Yes.
I have two separate files for a PA 53 here, which would be a violation of your bond conditions. State of Michigan versus Jaden Dodge, 26-00024 SM. Is in warrant status. You were supposed to appear before me back on February 17th for a final pretrial. Neither you appeared nor the alleged victim appeared. Did you forget that you had court?
So I woke up late and I called the public defender office to try to make it up and try to get there on time. But I just wasn't able to get in contact with them.
Oh, and so you just said, hey, you know what, just leave it at that.
No, no, not at all.
Why didn't you come to court? Because the public defender didn't order you to be in person. The court did. You had a court date, not a date with the public defender. Why didn't you come to court?
Only because I thought that they were going to be able to maybe reschedule it or have me come in or let me know that I could come in so I could just take care of it like that.
What would make you think that?
Because I've missed. I mean, I don't know. I just honestly, I just tried my best. I tried to.
You didn't believe
make
that. You
No,
didn't believe
I actually,
that.
and I really,
You didn't believe that you missed court and then they were just gonna reschedule it one day without ever hearing from you. It also should also be noticed on the record, your attorney indicated they had not been in communication with you. So
I called the office and they gave me his number and he she said that she was going to leave him a message and a note, but I just never got a call back. And I called
yeah,
back again, but
your attorney called you on the day you were supposed to be here.
yeah, they called me. Yes, they called me. They called me on the day I was supposed to be there, but I didn't.
And you didn't, and you
I
didn't answer, and you didn't call
I
him back, and you didn't
I
come back. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, and you didn't, because you would have came to court if you did. You didn't call, and you didn't call them back, and you did not appear in court after you missed your court date to have the bench warrant set aside. You know good and well what happens when you don't appear in court. This is not your first time having a court case.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't see the affidavit. Probably the class. Oh, man. Okay, so of course, the alleged victim on the domestic violence that you failed to appear for, and that also failed to appear, I believe is the alleged to have been with you and the subject of why the police reported today. It's unclear to me why I have two bond violations. Let's see here. Let's see. One says no contact with Kamari Harris or to be within 2,000 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. Okay, that would be one violation. Then there's another bond violation stating that you were not to commit any crime while released out on bond. And again, not to have third-party contact directly or indirectly with the protected party. So you have the right to have a contested hearing. That's why I have another file. You have a case in Eaton County as well?
Yes, I've been trying to take care of this.
with Miss Harris as the victim. Got it. So you got two separate domestic violence charges pending, or assault and related charges pending, I should say. Yeah, this is domestic violence. Looks like you were supposed to appear for sentencing before Eaton County on the 18th of November. You failed to appear, it looks like.
I was incarcerated in Ingham County at that time.
Oh,
I didn't know
and then
I was going to get his phone.
and then you got out and you just thought they were going to reset it one day, correct?
No, I got a mail and a letter that said I need to turn myself in within 30 days, and I was going to do that. I was trying to take care of that before I
But yet 4 months have passed and you've not done that. Okay.
I
You
wasn't
have the
out.
right.
I
I didn't ask you any questions. You have the right to have a bond violation hearing on each of these files before each of the courts that you have these pending matters. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at those bond violation hearings, and the right to have the prosecutor establish whether or not you in fact violated your bond condition. The violation of bond is a contempt of court. So you're facing up to 93 days in jail for each violation. You understand that?
yes.
Counsel, you can feel free to address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll just level with Your Honor on this one. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I had a conversation with Mr. Dodge, and for all the reasons Your Honor basically already placed on the record, I advised him that Your Honor is just going to set him on some sort of cash bond today. If not, just like not even give him a bond. So as a result, I would just ask Your Honor to set him a cash bond on this file, allow him to accumulate day-for-day credit, and then for him to basically deal with these other matters. There is one thing I would like to add for the record. I was looking at the notes in the file, and it does appear as if Mr. Dodge did call our office approximately 10:30 a.m. on February 17th, 2026, where he did say that he couldn't attend the court. Obviously, that doesn't change the fact that he still missed court, but he did call our office at least after obviously missing court. So I just wanted to add that as part of the record, but we understand that we're going to have a cash bond on this file. Thank you, Your Honor.
He was supposed to be at my court at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 17th, not calling 2.5 hours later to tell someone he can't attend. It's not an option. This is not a negotiation. This is not a doctor's appointment. This is not a date. This is a court order for you to appear because you've got a criminal matter pending. And now what we have is that misdemeanor now has exacerbated to, he's now got a felony, hinder, obstruct, oppose, which if I were to reason based off of what was stated in the affidavit of probable cause, the hinder, obstruct, oppose came from the fact that he knew he had warrants. And so he was trying to resist because he knew he was going to be taken into custody. But I don't know the allegations of the case at this point. I don't know the facts of the case. I just know the allegations. Then we also have several bond violations. He's going to be remanded on both files, pending a hearing on the bond violation. I'm going to remind you that you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the protected party of Kamari Harris. That would include no calls from the recorded jail line. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever she is. You need to report to all of your court dates. It looks like you're going to have to go and see or address your case in Eaton County. You'll be remanded to do that as well. And then we'll see you at your next court date, which is before me, okay?
Okay, can I ask you one question, please?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I was trying to take care of the, so that means, I'm gonna be going to take care of the Eaton County stuff first?
I don't know what you're gonna take care of first, because I don't know if they'll writ you to take care of it first. I don't know. I just know you're gonna be sitting in jail until it's taken care of.
I know, I understand that. I was just wondering about
I can't tell you who's gonna take care of what first, because I don't know. I don't know what Eaton County is gonna do. All I know is that you have now two cases pending before me, one being a felony. You have your next court date on when you're going to appear for me for a felony. And then you also have a misdemeanor that was supposed to be moving to a jury trial, but neither you or Ms. Kamari Harris appeared. And so the matter was stuck in a bench warrant status. And so you're going to be remanded on the misdemeanor. In this file, you're being remanded on the bond violation in Eaton County. And your bond on the felony is 1,000 cash surety with GPS tether. Do you have any questions now?
I do not have any questions.
Very good. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
We just thank Your Honor today.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's a pleasure working with you, and until next time.
Have a good one.
You too.